This week's training is about asking you to stop obsessing over posting frequency. And I'm going to talk about what really matters on Instagram. And so I want to ask you, are you just tired of posting every day on Instagram and still not seeing the results that you're craving? You know, more views, more reach, leads, quality leads, and sales, right? And the thing is, you're not alone. In this live, I'm going to talk about and reveal why posting frequency isn't actually the key to a successful social media strategy and what to focus on instead. And so I want to share, yes, so much pressure. I want to share my screen so you guys can see what the heck I'm talking about. I want to introduce myself first too. I'm Prathi. I'm your go-to social media strategist, and I love talking and helping business owners really get liberation from social media burnout, like having to post all the time, having to, do like videos all the time, all the stuff that you hear that you have to do. I'm trying to liberate you from that to figure out what actually works for you and something that works that's sustainable for you. So, okay, sorry. Let me quickly, I don't know. I am so all over the place sometimes, and I'm probably frazzled right now and nervous because last time my audio wasn't working, and so I'm like, thinking, oh my God, it's not working. So that's why I'm so like nervous sometimes. So, okay, here we go. I'm gonna present that. Perfect. Okay, there it is. So again, we're going to be diving into the crucial topic of how to focus on the right things versus, how many times do I post a week, right? Or how many times do I post a day? So if you're a business owner looking to connect with most like your best customers and more customers and grow your fan base, then this training is for you, because I think it's going to be super important. So I want to know in the comments if you can let me know, how many times did you actually post last week? I would love to know. Like, I'm not going to ask you how many times do you post every week, because it's probably different, right? And we do it based on our schedule sometimes, and we try to be consistent. And consistent doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to post 3 times a week. I'm going to post on this day and that day. It just means that we're being consistent with the types of things that we talk about. So comment in the chat. Let me know how many times you post a week. And then I'd like to see where people are at. You posted 0 times last week. That's okay. We pick up where we leave off and then we come back and start again, right? Michelle posted 3 times. That's awesome. So I post about 4 to 5 times a week on the Instagram feed. And then stories, I'm a little more active these days. And, that's a great place as well. But that's kind of my average, is like 4 to 5 times. And sometimes it changes depending on like if I'm coming back from a break or I'm just trying to pick up and things like that. Okay. So again, I'm Prathi. I went through this. I'm not going to do it again. And I am so happy to have been able to work with like over 10 different industries, help manage different types of businesses, and also have a membership where I'm helping business owners figure out a social media plan and strategy that works for them. So that is my game right now. And so through this training, I just want to remind you, if you want to screenshot and share anything that I do talk about, I'd love it. And you can tag me on Instagram in your stories at Prathima so I can reshare. And then also, if you stay till the end, you can comment in the chat to win a free Instagram audit, or you can get 50% off your first month of my social media membership for business owners. And I'll talk a little bit about that in between, because, these are the things that I actually help my students with inside the membership. And so I'll just kind of like mention that. All right. So do you think this is true? The more you post, right, the more you grow. And you might be thinking this because, you're thinking the more I post, the more I'll grow my followers, the more I'll get leads, the more I'll get sales. And this is partly true. I'm not going to lie. It's not like completely untrue either. And I'll get to this shortly. So I actually think it's the more you know, the more you grow, right? And that's my motto. Because you might be thinking, of course, oh yeah, Prati, like I know my stuff, like I'm an expert in my field and I'm an expert in my industry. I know my skills. I know what products I'm selling and services I offer. So yeah, of course, like I know this. And I'm glad to hear that you believe you are the expert, because that is the first thing. Like we should always be confident in what we're offering. And I know you have, I have no doubt that you're skilled at what you do. But do you know your buyer? Do you know your buyer well? Like your clients and customers who are, that you're wanting, right? Do you know what they're scrolling on Instagram for? Do you know what they're Googling answers for, right? If you can't confidently say that you do know the answers to these questions, then here's the thing. We need to do a little bit more market research, right? If you've heard that term, market research, usually you do this before you dive into selling any product or any service, but sometimes we need to like refresh our research too, because maybe our audience has changed and behaviors have changed. I mean, humans evolve, right? Like there's so many external factors that hit us and now show us that we are changing, right? And I'm sure you agree with that. So here's the thing. I think the better you know your buyer, the better content you can make, right? See, Instagram wants to keep people on their platform, and they want to know what you're interested in and what that person on Instagram is interested in. So our jobs as business owners is to find out what our people are interested in. And you want to create more of that type of content so that Instagram can show your content to more people interested in those topics, right? So that's the key. And what happens when you actually know your audience inside out is that you can create focused and intentional content that's actually valuable for your audience. And then the algorithm is going to give you so much love, right? It's not against us. It is actually working for us, right? Because the algorithm will then show your stuff and know what your account is about, because you're consistently talking about those same topics, and it can show it to the right people who are searching for your topics, who are interacting with content around your topics, right? So even if you post 3 times a week consistently, but you can communicate and market, so clearly, you will grow. So it's not about the posting frequency, it's that focused content, okay? So I'll get into this. And, we don't want to randomly create content that we think people want to see. Yes, there is some experimentation to, creating content and things, but let's start out with some of the things we already know our people want to see. We have to know, who are they, right? Like who are they, like in a deeper level, not like the external things. And here's some things, you may have seen this before in other, people talking about it, and just in general, when you do market research, these are some of the things, and you may already have answers to a lot of these, like demographics, for instance. These are like the usual data points that we capture and do some research around, right? But the problem is that your content is not reflecting that you don't know your audience beyond age, sex, education, occupation, annual income, things like that, right? We need to dig a little bit more than that. We need to know a little bit more about them. For example, psychographics, right? Or I'm talking about like, what are their hobbies? Where are they going on like websites and blogs, and what types of, who are they following? Like the gurus, like who are they following? Like, for example, for me, in the social media world and marketing world, people might be following Jasmine Star, or even like people like Amy Porterfield, like who talks about business and online courses and things like that. So I need to know these things, right? Because that's where they're hanging out. They're following these people and commenting on their like information, their posts, going to their webinars, things like that, right? Are they on Reddit? Are they on Facebook? What types of groups are they on in Facebook, right? And then also mindset. Like, what are their opinions and attitudes about things? Like, how do they feel about their life right now, right? Do they have any quirks or distinguishing characteristics? Are they someone, let's say, you work with, women, moms who love to shop for their kids, right? Do they always look for discounts? Do they feel guilty when they spend extra on their kids or even themselves? Like things like that. Those are like some minute details, but they are so important, right? And then another thing, we want to also dig into what they truly want and desire, right? Like, are they trying to accomplish things at work and home? Are they just like a homemaker? Like, are they a work from home dad, mom, things like that? Like, what do they want, right, from their work life and their personal life? And what are some of the challenges and obstacles that are getting in their way of getting what they want, right? And what's at stake for them? So, what will happen if they don't solve this problem or reach their goal right now, 3 months from now, a year from now? And then what do they need, right? The solution. So, what can you do or what can you offer that will help them solve this problem and then get them to their goal? So this is like where we want to think about how our offers map to each of these different things that they're looking for, right? And then what are some of the objections? So like usually it's time, right? I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't trust this person. I don't trust, the world. I don't trust my politicians, things like that, or lack of need. Like I don't need it right now, right? Those are like objections that you usually hear. And then are there people who are part of their buying decision, right? So these are just some of the things where I feel like you can think about and note down, but I'll give you a checklist of this at the end and you can kind of like, I'll talk to you about like what we actually want to look for so we can know what our audience is thinking and feeling. So here's a big one. What is the transformation, right? What is the transformation your audience actually wants? Because if we can speak to this in our content, then, this is a big thing because people are looking to see how their life will be if they can work with you, if they can use what you offer, if they can buy and like, get a taste of what you offer, right? So are they looking to like become a successful business owner? Are they looking to get their stuff together, like a balanced lifestyle? Are they trying to look polished and put together? So if you're a stylist, you're thinking about that, right? Or like if you offer designs, right? If you do clothing. Are you like an organizer and home organizer, DIY person? And you're trying to help someone who's trying to feel very relaxed after their long day. And in the evening, they just want an organized home, right? Things like that. That's the transformation. So here are the things we want to drill down on. Like I kind of gave you an overview of some of the questions and things we can answer, but we want to drill down on external problems, which are things that people Google. So I'm going to be like, I'm going to Google, like I'm a mom of 3. So like, let's say I'm Googling, the, what is it? Best fall attire for my kids so they stay warm in school, right? Like I'm just saying, I might do some search like that, right? So think about those external problems, things that people are Googling, looking at YouTube for, they're asking their neighbors, their family, their friends, and they're looking for an answer to that specific problem, right? And most people, most business owners typically sell to their audience's external problems, right? And another one, for example, I'm always looking for an outfit that fits my body. My body has changed since I had kids. And so, I want to find something that maybe, is very nice to my midsection because yes, there's a lot of jiggly there now. So things like that, right? So I'm going to search for outfits that are good for my tummy, right? Like that hide it, but also make me feel good. But, it just makes me feel confident, right? So those are the problems on the outside, right? So when it comes to serving and selling on, through Instagram and social media, most people stop here, right? But we want to dig in a little bit to the internal problems, the deeper reasons why they are searching for the answers to those problems, right? What are their fears, their doubts, their anxieties? What are things that are keeping them up at night, right? So what we want to do is look for language online and in places that indicate these kind of things that are keeping people up at night, their pain points, their problems, their challenges, their frustrations, their dreams, and things like that. Because the internal fears are often found below the surface. So if we can connect our content with that and communicate and address them, we can have that deeper connection with our audience. So again, we don't have to necessarily post more, but we have to post the types of content that is going to help us connect and make our audience feel like, that person knows me so well, like in what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and what I'm like doing, that like I trust this person because they do know me so well, right? So we want to start with a bigger problem and ask, like, so what? Why are you doing this? Like, why are you looking for clothes that are covering your midsection, right? We have to go deeper and deeper and ask, why is that important for them? So the closer you get to the internal problem, the more effective your communication will be through your content, and the more connected your audience will be to everything that you do. And they're like, yeah, like whatever you give me, I know that it will help me. Okay. So again, what to look for and how to use it. So when we do market research, and I'm going to show you how I do market research. So don't worry, I'm going to get to it in a few slides. We want to look for words and phrases that describe the emotions that people are going through, and that we can actually add these to a messaging bag. So I actually have an Excel sheet, which I keep, where I have found patterns and like words that people are consistently using all the time, and phrases, not just words, but phrases that people are using. And I keep this and I called it the messaging bag, because when you use these actual words that people are like saying and using, then again, people will be like, oh, you know me. Like, that's what I feel. Like, it's like, you know them. We're not just coming randomly up with words, right? But when you use those exact phrases, it helps a lot. So when you write your captions, when you write your hooks, right, for your videos and like your carousels and things like that on Instagram, and when you tell stories, you can use these words. And then again, that's when your audience says, it's like you know me. It's like you know how I feel. And that's what we want. Okay. So now your question may be, Prati, how do I do some of this research ASAP that won't take me weeks or months? Because yes, market research when you're initially starting a business, you might need to take quite like a little bit of time, right? But let's say like sometimes you get stuck with content. You're like, I don't know what to post anymore. I feel like I've just drained out all my ideas. And so there are some really interesting places where you can do this market research to get to know your audience more, right? And I got you. So here are some spots that you can go. And again, if you're anything like me and you want to know these things, these are like content, like places that are golden, right? You don't have to set up focus groups. You don't have to do interviewing all the time. And so you can go to these places. So Facebook groups. Facebook groups is one of those places which I love. I'm part of like marketing, entrepreneurship, that kind of Facebook groups, and even moms, like moms in my community, in my neighborhood, things like that. Like people are posting about what I do sometimes, right? So I search for those keywords, okay? And I look for posts that are talking about that kind of stuff. And then I look for those words that they are using, like daunting, see, right? And then like, this is a great one where it looks like they're happy, but there's still something that they feel like they're not doing, right? So things like that. Then I also go to blogs, right? And so you can actually do like a search like this, right? You can do single mom, recent divorce, lost trust in relationship. So this was actually for I think a dating relationship coach that I was working with. So I did this search for her and I put read it at the end. So you can put any blog, like forum, you can do also plus forum, and you can find blogs where people are talking about that topic and you can see what they're saying. Now, this is like golden. If you look at this, like she talks about, what she's going through. And right here, this last sentence, I wish I could start building a new relationship, but it seems that will never happen. I don't even have close friends to talk to or call. It's just me and my kids. I love them to death, but I feel so lonely, helplessness, and stuck. Like if you can use these words throughout your content where you're, let's say, a dating and relationship coach, and you can use it to address those feelings, like people will know that you are speaking directly to them. And that's what Instagram wants. Instagram wants you to be very focused on your content and like talk about those topics that they can categorize you. That's the point. Okay, so blogs are great. Then I also go under like competitor accounts in my industry and my parallel industry. I look at their social media accounts like on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. I go to YouTube comments and I check out those comments for more questions that people may have or things that are like, that they're addressing. And this is like a gold mine for filling gaps that your competitors have not filled within their own content, right? So you can even use this as a way to say, hey, like this person isn't addressing it, let me address it. Okay, so you can do this quickly. I mean, just go under some of their recent posts and look at it. And then this is one of my favorites places to do some research. Of course, Google search. So I mentioned earlier, I have this thing where, I'm kind of self-conscious about my jiggly belly. And so I'm like, what do I wear? I don't want to look flabby, and I don't want to look like just lazy, right? I want to look confident. I want to feel confident. I want to look good. And so what I do is I put that at the search bar, right? That's what I'm looking for. What do I wear? I'm looking for some new outfits, let's say for dating or for a date night or something. You can go under, if you scroll on that same page, into this people also ask section, right? This one. And you can see what other keywords and search phrases people are using for that same kind of topic. And literally you can take these same questions and use that as your hook, your topic idea, and you can repurpose your content again and again with a different like question or phrase. So let's say I do a content piece that says what I wear when I want to like cover up my big belly. Let's say that's the first content. Let's say a month down the road, I will use the same like copy and everything and maybe change the graphics. I don't know, or do a different video, but then I'll have a different phrase. What I wear to hide a big stomach, or what I can wear, to reduce my belly fat, depending on what you're showing, right? So what to wear when my stomach isn't flat, like things like that. So you can just change up the phrase and you can use this as like inspiration. So I love that section on Google. People also ask. So look there and, put in a bunch of like topics that you feel like people are looking for, and then look at the people also ask. Okay. It's literally a gold mine. Okay. So with this research, you can then create that quality buyer focused content that is actually valuable. Again, it's not the posting frequency, it's actually like the quality of your content. And when you're focused on your buyer, that makes it valuable, right? So what we want to do after we go through those market research like points, like, and you've gone through blogs, you've gone through some of your competitor accounts, things like that. What we want to do is find patterns. And here's some questions you can use as prompts to find those patterns, right? So after you've done that research and you kind of like, again, you can use an Excel sheet. You can use that to like just, put all of the things that you find and then look for things that tell you what's keeping people stuck, right? You can look at them and you can ask, what are they frustrated about? What are they like always worried for, right? What do they want more of? Do they say that? What do they want less of? What do they wish that was easier? And what do they want to happen faster? So these are like the questions you can ask again to find the different patterns. Okay. And then you can make content around those patterns, right? And answering these questions. So for example, I thought I'd give you one for real estate agent, because I work with quite a few real estate agents. Let's say you're a real estate agent and you're focused on helping families buy their first home. That's what you do, and that's your offer. So these are some of the things, and that are going through people's minds when they're buying their first house, right? How do I find my ideal house? Like, how do I don't know where to start. Should we wait longer until interest rates drop? This is a common like worry that people have, right? That's why people don't buy a lot of the times. I want to find a family home, but I don't know what to look for. Like, what are my most important things that I want? Like, help me prioritize. It's taking too long to find the perfect home. Like, why is it taking so long? Like, I want to work with someone who can just find it for me fast, right? I don't want to compromise on my dream home. So again, what are those things that I don't want to compromise on? And what are the things I'm okay, I can like get it later or, whatever. So these are some of the top things that might come up, right? And you can literally take these and create multiple pieces of content with just like addressing these topics. So these are topics. You don't need to address it directly, but you can do it in so many different ways, right? And what's cool is that in my membership in the Chai Social Club, which is my social media membership for business owners, every week we have weekly content sessions, planning sessions. So I ask my students to, come in with their ideas and I give them prompts. And then we come up with different like post ideas for topics like this. And so that way you don't have to, again, think, one topic equals one post, but like one topic can be 5 posts, right? So that's what we do in there. So you might want to join if that's kind of your challenge right now, where you are not sure how to come up with different post ideas with one topic. Then we could do that inside Chai Social Club. So hope this example helped. And at the end of the day, like I said, I feel like actual frequency doesn't matter. And I hope I've shown you that, like in the sense, like you can grow, but you can grow if you know your buyer really well. So the more you know, I feel like I've heard this, right? Like the more you know, the more you grow. I think that's like a quote. But it's actually the more you know, the more you post. Why does that happen? Because you're confident and you know exactly what your people want to hear and see and need from you. So then you can come up with like post ideas all the time, right? And you're repeatedly saying like the same message and communicating the same core topics all the time. So you know what to post. Because a lot of the time people don't post because they don't know how, like what their people want, right? And then the more you post, the more you grow. So yes, frequency like matters, but not like the way you think, right? I mean, if I post 1 time versus 0 times, of course I'm going to grow. If I post 5 times versus 1 time, yes, I'll grow a little faster, but either way you're going to grow. So don't think frequency matters. It's the more you know, the more you grow at the end of the day. All right. So that's all I have for today. And I hope that kind of gave you a boost and encouragement to go back to doing that market research. In the sense, you don't have to do a full-blown market research. You probably just need some inspiration into refreshing your content because it's become dry. And so you think, I need to post more. Like that's your default thing, is like, I need to post more and then I'll grow. I'm not seeing any growth. I'm not seeing any reach. I'm not seeing the results that I want. But it's actually, again, going back to the core foundational question of, do I know my buyer? And if you can answer with good confidence that, yeah, I know what they're thinking doing, then create content around that, right? And if you do, and as you post too, they will tell you what they love, they understand, that meant, something was valuable to them because they're interacting with your content. They're buying stuff from you. So those are the type of signals that you want to use to decide, like, this is the type of content I need to post. But you don't have to start from scratch. You can find this information already. It's all over the internet, and you can even ask people in your demographic, right? So get to it. But again, that's it for today's training. If you found it helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more social media strategies that actually bring results for business owners. And I didn't want to leave you empty-handed. So here's a great free resource for you. And it's a 5-day email series, and I'll teach you the exact strategies to convert followers into loyal customers without wasting hours on social media. They're basically 5 lessons, and these are my 5 like systems, as I would say, that I have that I use and I teach my students and clients, that if you can kind of have these as your core foundational systems, it will help you like really get social media to work for you, right? And it's in the description. The link is in the description down below the video after this video gets posted after this live. And then also, I would love if you would comment in the chat if you have any questions about market research or content strategy, anything like that. I'm here for it. And then join me live next week. I will talk about more about content creation strategy. And unfortunately, there are some things that we're still doing and business owners are still doing that's burning them out fast. And I'm here to liberate you from that. So join me next week for that. And so, yeah, Waf Lee. I don't know who else is here, but I am going to pick a winner. So if you want to comment saying you're here, I will pick a winner for either the Instagram audit, the free Instagram audit, or a 50% off the first month of my membership. Oh my God, it's Michaela. Oh gosh. Hi, Michaela. Thank you for coming. And then I don't know who else is there. There's like one more person. Is it Michelle? If it's Michelle, she's already in my membership, so I'm happy. But anyways, Michaela, I love you. Thank you for your support. Yeah, if I think you're doing awesome already, but if you would love for me to give you some feedback on your Instagram, if you want, happy to do that no matter what. But yeah, that's it for today's training. Thank you for attending. Oh, there's like one more person. Okay, there's like 3 people and 2 people are not answering because I know Michaela is here. And then Michelle, I know you're driving, I believe. So Michelle, I know you're good. Who's the 3rd person? Okay, yeah. Michaela, we'll chat about, and then you can give me feedback on mine too. Jamar, hi. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, I finished the whole thing, my friend. But I know you're my big support system too. And so the audio worked. I just wanted to let you know, Jamar. So I made sure I made sure someone was there at the beginning to tell me. So yeah. So I'm just ending the training, but thank you for attending. I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.